Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Stockradar Stocks on the Move for another week. Today's date's the 20th of August 2026. My name is Richard Lee and I manage the stockradar.com.au website for you. Well, the stock market, a place for the wise, not for the panickers. We're going to talk a little bit today about just a few of the basic things we need to know when we're trading, the knowing part of things, the perspective part of things. I'll go through a few of those today, as well as having a look at a few stocks. Okay, so at the moment we've got the reporting season. There are a few stocks there that we've got there that have been close to resistance levels. We've got about 10 stocks approaching new highs and about 5 stocks looking at nearing trend reversal levels. But some of these stocks have just been shying away with those levels this week. The reporting season perhaps made people a bit nervous and pushing them through. But they may be shying away this week, but then there's next week is another week. So we just deal with things as they come and we be patient and wait for things to happen. So the key to our approach to Stockradar really is the knowing what to do and when to do it. This gives us a roadmap and a structure to follow and makes trading a whole lot easier for us. It's the doubt and uncertainty that makes us anxious and stressed. So do yourself a favour, know what to do and when to do, and make sure you have a plan to engage this market, otherwise it will destroy you. Okay, so first thing I want to get into is the overseas markets. Just have a quick look. Trend intensity ratings first off. Top trend intensity ratings on Stockradar currently are James Hardie, Capricorn Metals, who's having jumped through new highs. AMP's been a bit of an excitement machine over the last couple of weeks. Block's moving higher. VEA's another one moving higher. Sandfire, the copper stock, is starting to push higher. A little bit of sentiment getting a bit bullish there. Copper's making new highs. BHP's had a good report, announcing good copper production. So that's all been a bit of a focus there. S32's doing well. Reese is just dealing with this reversal level. It's trying to hold there. MP1's been good and also has Ampol. So there's our top 10 good stocks at the moment. Top 10 stocks of 34 stock picks. So we're up this week to 34 stock picks of our 161 stocks covered. Okay, so we've got 2 new stocks this week and 1 out. So those 34 stock picks are the ones that are trending in our books of the 161 stocks covered, and they are primarily ASX 200 stocks. Okay. So that's the trend intensity ratings and stock pick count. Our portfolios are reasonably full. The Energizers running at about 5 out of 5. The 10 stock is full at 10 out of 10. The conservative portfolio, which is really a bit more of a perspective from the market, has got 4 stocks out of 10. The conservative portfolio is a cross-section of stocks across all sectors. Some leading stocks, and so it's got a fairly big cash component there at the moment. It's just running 4 stocks there. So that's the conservative portfolio, which you can see on the chart on the homepage, how it performs against the other Energizer stocks, Energizer portfolios. Okay, so let's get into the overseas markets. Again, we've got really little change in the overseas markets. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is making new highs. It's just come back a bit the last week or two, but no big deal. Good volume, good momentum. Same with the S&P, and it's also making new highs. Okay, we'll just try and get that one up in a second. There's the S&P. It's making new highs. Consolidation. We've got lots of green bars here pushing this index higher. And then the Nasdaq, well, it's still been pretty bullish, but it has dawdled around for a couple of months there. Just shied away from the high immediately there. We've seen some huge volumes push this market up there. So at the moment, it looks okay. So that's the indices. They're looking okay. Our market is recently pushed to new highs, just having a little bit of an ease back the last couple of weeks. Again, probably reporting season has made a little bit of a difficulty in trading at the moment. People are just a bit nervous about a few things. Some stocks have taken dives, some stocks haven't. But it's still looking pretty good, the ASX 200, making new all-time highs roughly. The gold is just marking time at the moment, trying to reverse the downward move that we saw there. So we're sort of keeping an eye on that. There's a little bit of volume there, a little bit of interest there after this pullback there. Copper's making new highs, and its volume has increased a little bit recently, so that's a good sign for it in this up move here. Copper's looking good, steady enough here. Rate of ascent has just been steady there. The momentum index, it's been wandering around a little bit, but it's still very high on the scale, so it's a fairly steady rise as we can see there. And Brent crude, well, we're just not touching that one at the moment. It's mid-range at the moment and not telling us an awful lot. Okay, so there are the indices and the commodities for you fairly quickly. Now I want to get into some stocks. I've got about 6 or 7 stocks to go through today. Firstly, I thought we'd just have a quick look at BHP in the light of the result from last week. It's been a pretty good performer ever since it broke through $50. We have had a couple of bumps, which makes it a little bit tricky. I think we actually got stopped out on this one here, but we've held this one okay for now, and it is actually making new highs this week, which is a great thing for BHP. Volumes haven't been enormous, but good enough. Momentum still holding up. So the trend intensity rating for BHP is still 8 out of 10, which is still reasonably strong. So BHP looks pretty good, and as we saw before, copper production is now making its biggest revenue earner. The new CEO there's obviously looking to make some expansion plans for copper, so that looks pretty well placed. And they've been putting themselves in this position for a while, so it's not as if this has just happened today. It's been fairly well thought out. The iron ore is its underpinning prices at the moment. They're fairly steady. Divested the oil, which is probably a good thing considering what's happened there. So BHP has been a fairly it's become more of a concentrated stock. It's a very smart stock, and it is doing very well. And it will benefit a lot from this copper, which has always seems to be in demand, whether it's for wiring or for mining, whatever. So it's well placed there. AMP, as we saw briefly before, it's had a pretty good run since it broke higher. This was a really an I don't know stage. It chopped around here for a while. It looked very good here, but eventually we've got the break up here, which gave us our signal there. And we've got an alignment of stars there. We've got a price break here. We've got good volume and momentum, all giving positive signals. We've just had a slightly sideways couple of weeks, and the trend intensity's pulled back to +9, but still very strong. And we've got a nice protective stop up there, so you can just see where that is there. I don't normally show that, but I'm showing it this week. We've now locked in a profit there, so we'll just make sure that doesn't go away. And that's the name of the game. No matter how big or small, we don't know what's ahead. We just do what our trade plan says. And as I said before, it's the knowing what we do and when to do it that makes our life a whole lot easier. We don't want to be in a doubtful state, not knowing what to do. That is the really bad thing, and that makes us make bad decisions. Okay, so AMP, it's on a roll at the moment. Challenger, it's recovered from its support. We've watched this one for a while. It's broken higher. It's come back to support. It had a pretty wild week this week. I hope that data's right there, but it's been some pretty big ranges this week. But the trend intensity rating is still +7 there for Challenger. The volume here is a bit of selling here. It's hit this market here. It's pulled back here, but it's found support. It's held our stop, so we hold in there for the moment. Momentum is good, and it's above the average. So the trend intensity rating is still +7, but we just do note there's been a bit of selling there, as we can see here. Not a lot, but a little bit of there just to make us wary. But it has pulled the price back, which makes us extra careful. Okay, so that's Challenger for the moment. That remains a hold. Okay, Woolworths, again, we've talked about the consumer staple stocks. Coles is making new highs. Woolworths has recovered enormously over the last sort of since September last year. So it's almost a year now. It's been recovering for it. It's had a pretty good move up here, and the old highs, as you can see, sitting up here, waiting to be tested up around $44. So Woolworths looks fine. The trend is up. It's above the average. Volume is okay there. Momentum is okay. So nothing extraordinary, but the trend is up, and that's the most important thing. High highs and high lows, which defines a trend. So that's Woolworths there. Megaport's been another one which has been a really good performer. It recovered pretty quickly off that big support level here, and it's now just challenging the all-time highs, and it's just having a little bit of a struggle there at the moment. But for the moment, we have a protection there in place. The trend intensity rating is still +9, so we hold this stock. The volume's been very good up on this rally up here. We have seen some selling hit here, obviously, which has just stymied this rally a little bit, and volume is just sort of tempered off a little bit, but it still seems to be okay. So all in all, we just wait patiently, and a new high would be quite an exciting thing for Megaport there. So we're going to hang on for that, provided our protection, our stop loss doesn't go off beforehand. So that's the important thing. The other one I want to look at is Horizon. Every now and then some stocks go array, and this one has. We've had a nice trend in Horizon for a while. We looked at this one, it was making new highs here, looking very good. And then we got a bit of a chop around here. It struggled to continue high. Then we got a lower high here, and now we've got this week. Report wasn't quite as good as expected, and we've had a dump. Now I'm only showing you this because it's not a great chart for me to show you, but it is the fact of the matter is these things happen. And again, it's the knowing what to do. And in this situation, if our stop goes off this week, we get out. Now we're still going to make sure we make a profit because we bought it back down here. But some of our profit did disappear, and that was out of our control in this situation. But I know what I've got to do now. If it does close below the stop, which it's likely to this week, then I will get out, take my profit and move on. Okay, we gave a little bit back, but there's not much we can do about that. Sometimes it happens. So you just need to be prepared and aware when these situations happen, because they can happen. Stocks can. This could have gone completely on higher. May have done that. It may have just gone sideways for a bit, but it came down and our stop's gone off. So we need to exit this one. So that trend intensity rating is +8 as of last week when it was up here. It's now fallen through here, fallen through our stop, and as I say, we'll probably be getting out of that one this week, or Monday, I should say, once we get a confirmed close on Friday. We always wait for these situations. We don't behave in anything during the week. It rarely affects our returns, or all these things are built into our returns anyway. This sort of thing is built into our returns. So we've got to account for everything, but the main thing is we get more right than wrong, and that's how an odds play works. Okay, so that's a rise. A bit disappointing, but there it is. Okay. Now the other one I'll show, which showed you last week again, it's just sitting here. It's frustrating the hell out of me, but it is going to, at some stage, it will do something for us. We hope it's going to break higher. It looks like it wants to. It's been testing it. It just can't get through. If it has some good volume, push this one up here, then all of a sudden the buying's dried up a little bit. Momentum is positive. It's above the average. The trend intensity rating is 1, waiting to set this one off. But the health stocks have struggled for a while, unfortunately. If sentiment was a bit better, maybe it would go through. But for the moment, we just wait and we just watch this one. And again, the reason we like to watch this one is because this is a significant resistance level. And when they go, again, the odds will suggest to you that a fairly significant move is going to unfold. So again, we just wait for that to happen. Okay, so that's Fisher and Paykel. That's the stocks I've got for you today. Again, I showed you a few different stocks today. It's all about the knowing what to do and when to do it, and just keeping track of how you respond to the market prices and what they do. Okay, so just a little word of wisdom here in my slides today. I talked about the knowing. The other part, one of my trading wisdom words is perspective. And we get that by stepping back, taking a deep breath, and just getting a gauge on things and not responding to every little nuance in the market. So perspective is a wonderful thing in the stock market, and sometimes things look awful today and they can look a lot better tomorrow. So we just need to make sure we behave the way we're supposed to behave. I'm just saying here on the notes here, reporting season can be tough, and the moves are getting more exaggerated all the time, which is making it tougher. But if you're in the game, you need to be able to deal with these things and deal with them appropriately. Don't knee jerk, be patient. Okay, like a rise, and I'm going to wait for the end of the week as to where I get out on that one. One day does not make a market. Okay, I always wait until the end of the week. That's my trading plan and that's my strategy. Okay, most of all, don't panic when things happen. Respond appropriately and know what to do next. So if something happens, you should know exactly what your move is going to be next. Okay. So in the words of Ozzy Osbourne from Black Sabbath, keep your head on your shoulders, not in the clouds, and that's the most important thing. Coming from a man like Ozzy Osbourne is an interesting statement. So the important thing is to keep your perspective when you're trading these markets and always know what you're going to do next. Okay, so that's what I've got to show you today. Okay, so there's my disclaimer. That's about all I've got for today. Again, next week will be my last YouTube video until the 8th of October. As I said before, I'm going away for the whole of September. So I'll be leaving on the 2nd of September and coming back on the 3rd, I think. So I hope you all know what you're doing, where your stops should be, how to respond while I'm away. They're all in the trading centre there. They will adjust, and you know what I do when I adjust my stops. So you just have to wait for that to happen. Okay, so most importantly, keep the faith and push wisely through the tough periods and resist responding to the market noise. Okay, always stay in control of yourself, know what to do, and let your trade plan do the talking. When in doubt, take a deep breath, go for a walk. Okay, things won't seem quite so urgent when you return. Okay, so we can get very worked up sometimes. Sometimes we just need to take a deep breath and slow down a little bit. Okay, so I will see you next week for the final words of wisdom. But for the moment, for this week, watch your trends, hedge your stops, keep it simple, have fun, stay safe, and again, I'll see you all next week. Thanks very much.